Let me just preface before we get going, I do not claim to be an expert, but I am a lifelong learner and observer and have enjoyed both leading in this space and also watching how it's been led by others. So today I am excited to share with you the power of communication that connects in change management. Why does communication matter during change? And how can you tell if your change communication is working? What do we get wrong about communications and change? And what should we watch out for? Mistrust in the organization is what makes employees most resistant to change. And without trust and genuine connection in our communication, we don't bring people with us, and we're not going to get to where we want to go well. Communication really is about trust building. I am working through a book right now, which I highly recommend, Creativity Inc. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. It's all about how can creativity and innovation still thrive in changing environments. What I love is that there's a lot of emphasis on trust and allowing for open communication, for candid feedback, and really that willingness to embrace failure. Also, that second bar, which is quite high, 39%, lack of awareness is another key area to address. Repetition and clarity on the why really, really matters here and helps to strengthen trust. So how can you tell if your communication is working? First thing that comes to mind is that you're doing it. Communications shouldn't wait for all the changes to be figured out. In an agile direction, it requires us to be communicating early. And in the messy middle space, communication must address what's right in front of us. And that can be hard, but it's so important to start. Because when you're communicating, you're creating space for conversation. And then the second thing for me is communication is empowering. Because when we enable others to play an active role, we keep improving together. That's so important that people feel safe to dialogue at all these points. But they can't do that without safety, and they can't do that without trust. So how do you know if you're empowering staff during change through communication? There is dialogue happening. There's safety that's been created to do so. And I would say that is a great indicator. And all of these opportunities are learning opportunities. It's okay to get it wrong because it creates space for dialogue when we do. So what do we get wrong about communications and change? We lose our humanity in the process. We're too top down. We don't meet people where they are. We don't accept natural resistance. We get too focused and busy on the work, and we lose people in the details and the jargon and the prose. Also a challenge that I have to work myself out of sometimes. Communication is about human connection, and thoughtful and timely communication is a matter of care. It means that we are empathetic to the human impact of change and that we value people. Because we're not robots, we're humans with complex emotions and prior experience and future desires that at a most basic level just need human connection. Are leaders across the change accessible? Are they honest? Are they communicating early and often? Even if plans are still forming, authenticity matters more than anything polished. And if you don't have all the answers, it's okay to say that too. That helps in that trust building. Effective change management involves listening as much as telling. People will fill an information gap with the worst case assumptions. Here's some questions you can ask. Is your communication intentional about building trust? Because without trust, we can't bring people with us. Is your communication empowering people? Because only when someone is playing an active role can we improve together. Is your communication human-centric? Because ultimately it's about people and it's a matter of care. And is your communication creating space for conversation? Because remember, that void is going to get filled, and it's going to get filled from a place of fear.